Welcome to my channel. Welcome. Please like. Don't forget like and subscribe. Subscribe and like. Thank you. I know you'll do that. You can do that. Come on. It's Silas. Oh, this pen is not working. Okay, it's not working good. Let me get another one. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. That would help me a lot. It's Silas Tutoring Center. Okay, Silas Tutoring Center. Like and subscribe. A trinomial is usually in this form. It's a polynomial of degree 2. We call them trinomial because it has 3 terms. So we can write it this way as well. Okay, so we can write any trinomial in this form. And when we have it in this form, what we can do is we can consider hk as the vertex, just like for the absolute value function. Hk is the vertex, and a is just telling us it's kind of like a slope, but because the trinomial is a U kind of shape, the a telling us how open, how wide the U is open. Okay, so yeah, so that's about it. Once we have once we put the trinomial in this form, we found the vertex. We would have to analyze the sign that is in front of a. So if the sign is positive, I have f of x because my function is a function of x. If the sign in front of a is positive, if it's positive, my u is open upward. If it's negative, it's open downward. Okay, so the same rules going for if I have x as a function of y times y minus h plus k. It goes the same way. If I have x as a function of y, instead of my function behave in this coordinate system, in the y coordinate system, it's gonna be in the x coordinate system. So it's gonna be left for negative, open left for negative, and open to the right for positive, with the vertex h and k. So that's when the vertex is gonna the point right here. The point right here. That's gonna be the vertex of our function. Once we know the vertex, that's it. We can find the behavior with the sign that is in front of our trinomial. Okay, so let's see if we can do an example, see what's going on here. For our example, we're gonna consider y as a function of x. So it's gonna be x minus h squared plus k. So let's say, for example, if we have y equal to 2 times x minus 2 squared plus 3. This is a trinomial. If we have to graph this function, the first thing we would have to look for is the sign in here. So the sign is positive. We know that it's going to open up. And we know the vertex is 2 and 3. So our vertex is 2, 3. Okay, I said 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is our vertex. And I said, okay, it's positive, so my function is open up. Let me make a better graph. 3. There you go. Okay, so this will be my function. Okay, so let me do the simplest one. The simplest one is x squared. Y is equal to x squared. So in this example, we would see that our vertex would be, because x squared is just like, I can say y is equal to x minus 0 squared plus 0. So our vertex is 0 and 0. And I can eliminate. Plus 0 is 0. 0 squared is 0. So it's just going to be x squared. Okay? So our vertex is 0, which means that it's going to be exactly, the vertex is going to be exactly right here at the center of the coordinate system. So for this reason, for x squared, we're going to have our parabola. By the way, we call this U shape, we call it parabola. Parabola. Parabola, that's the name for it. Okay, so that's the fancy name for it. This would be our shape for x squared. Y is equal to x squared. Okay, so now, for y is equal to negative x squared, don't forget, every time you have negative, you have the other way around, downward or left. Left, down, or left is negative. To the right or up is negative. So because it's negative, I said, okay, my parabola is opening down. Okay, so what if we have x is equal to y squared? Okay, so we're gonna say our parabola is gonna open to the right. That's for x equal to y squared. What if we have x equal to negative y squared? So our parabola is opening to the left. For x equal to negative y squared. Okay, so we see the four ways. The four ways is to the left or down for negative sign, to the left when x is a function of y, to the right when, to the left or right when x is a function of y, x is a function of y is in the x coordinate. You graph your U shape is in the x coordinate system. When y is a function of x, your U shape is in the y coordinate system. Okay, so what if we have, okay, I said these numbers they're just there to shift our graph. So the most basic one is exactly at the center of the coordinate system, but the vertex numbers, they only there to shift the function. Okay, so if I have my vertex at 2, 3, I already know that my vertex is gonna be here. Okay, I move this function. It's the exact same parabola right here. I just move it there. Okay, so if I have my vertex is negative 2, 3, I said negative 1, negative 2, negative 1, negative 1, negative 2, 1, 2, oh, negative 2, 3. I'm sorry, negative 2 and 3. Okay, so my parabola would go this way. Okay, what if I have -2, -3? -2, -3. I said, okay, -2, -3, 3. My parabola would go this way. Okay, so these numbers, they just there to shift the parabola. Okay, so that's it. That's how we graph parabola. So in general, that's how it is. These numbers to shift the parabola, they call the vertex of the parabola. If one of them is 0, you can see here, from here, you can see that if your k is equal to 0, what's going to happen? My function is just going to shift on the x-axis. Okay, because k is 0, my function, I'm not going up. I'm just moving right or left, depending on this number here. Okay, so if I have minus h, my h is 2 now. So I would have my function exactly right here. If it was positive 2, I would go to the left, because it's gonna be minus 2. That would give me 2 times x minus h. Okay, so my h would be -2. I would go to the left, and my vertex would be right here, and my function would shift to the left. Okay, so these numbers are there just to shift the parabola. But the biggest question is, what if the parabola is not in this form? What if it's in this form? Ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay guys, so for the trinomial, the parabola, we know that the parabola, the trinomial can be on this form. Like I said before, it can be on this form, or it can be on this form. Okay, so in this form, we have hk as the vertex of our parabola. And so people ask me the question that, what if we have the parabola in this form? How do I find h and k? It's easy. So what you do is, there is a formula that says h equal to -b over 2a, and k is a function of h, which means that to find k, whatever the number you find in b, you have to plug it back up here to get the k value. There is another way to transform this parabola, this form to this form, but I think this formula is a little easier. I find this formula is a little easier than transforming this form to this form. I can do that for you guys, but the formula is way easier than trying to do that. Okay, so we have the formula, h equal to -b over 2a, and k is a function of h. So with these two, we can try to graph a function. So let's say, for example, if we have f of x is equal to 2x squared plus let's say x squared plus 2x plus 2, for example. Okay, so if we have this trinomial, so what we do is, we said it's not in the form, it's not in the vertex form. So what do we do? It's in the regular form. So we have to find h and k. So in this case, I said h is equal to -b over 2a, which is b. Let's see why here. A is 1, b is 2, and c is 2. Okay, so I said -b over 2a is -b2 over 2 times a. That's give you -2 over 1, that's -1. Okay, so I go back in to find k. which is f of h, I have to plug h, which is -1, back in x. So it's -1 squared plus 2 times -1 plus 2. That's give me 1 minus 2 plus 2. So that's 1. Okay? So it's -1, 1. We have hk. We have our vertex for this, which is -1, 1. We have the vertex, and we know because the sign in front of x squared is positive, my function is going to look open up. Okay, so I said this is my x, this is my y in my coordinate system, and I said 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, and I said -1 and 1 is -1 to the left and 1 up. I said, okay, oh, that's gonna be my vertex right here. And I know the sign is positive, and I said my function is going to open up. Okay? If I wanna know the behavior of the function, I don't need to find up this point, this point, this. I don't need to find all the point where all the point is gonna be. I know the behavior, I know the vertex is, and I know it's gonna open up, and I said, okay, my function is going to look like this. Okay, so I think that's kind of like the easiest way to find out the way the function is going to look, because sometimes you don't need to find all the points. You don't need to find all the points. You don't need that. You just need to know the behavior. Okay, so that's just a quick way to find it. Okay, so I hope that this helped you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.